Finally caught my breath a little bit. Just went on a run for my lunch break. It is currently 12:35. Just got back to the church where I work, and we just did a mile. I'm just running a mile. Every time I go for a run, it's a mile, and there's usually a walking part after. Tomorrow morning, I'm going on kind of a ruck, a mini ruck with a friend of mine. But the point of this video is not that. The point of this video is to share with you something that I've been mulling over, thinking about, and working through. And what that is the standard of a godly man. And so when I think of men and the pinnacle of manhood, most of the time, me personally, I think of SOF, Special Operations Forces, Navy SEALs, Delta Force, Special Forces, Rangers, MARSOC, like the list goes on, right? Special Warfare in the Air Force, some of those guys. It's all, for me, that's the pinnacle of being a man, a physical specimen of being a man. Why? Might have something to do with the way I was raised. Might have something to do with just being a guy, nature. Might have something to do with God instilling this vision in my heart and in my mind of the standard that men should be. Why is it that man camps are becoming a thing? That men desire to be challenged, to be put through the ringer, to be belittled and demeaned, not in a daily life. I shouldn't even say belittled and demeaned, but to be harassed. To be harassed and put through the ringer in things like man camps or basic training or any of these things. Now, some women do that too. I'm not excluding that, but I'm speaking mostly to men right now, so I'm not talking about that, about women and so on. But why? It's because as men, we were designed to be challenged. And you know what has become a problem? Is that as the generations have moved forward, and you've heard the phrase, weak men create hard times create hard men create easy times create weak men. Like that whole thing, that whole cycle. Hopefully I said it right. You know what I'm talking about. But I think that we're in one of those moments where the easy times came, easy men came, but then there's been this cradling factor that has not caused hard times yet. I think we're on the cusp of hard times, but hard times in their entirety have not come yet. And so what has happened now, instead of easy men, weak men creating easy, like hard times, they've created weaker and weaker generations, and it's become weaker and weaker exponentially. So now all of a sudden, we have men who have no desire to be challenged. The desire that was instilled in them and supposed to be instilled in them is almost gone. That's why some of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be no factor to you. It's going to be no factor. Why? Because you don't see yourself and need to and see the need for yourself to be challenged and to be put through physical pain and stress. But there's studies and so on and so forth, and why weightlifting, running, physical challenges do things to the human body that make it better. It's the way it was designed. Look at scripture verses, Bible verses that talk about affliction, building perseverance, building character, and going on and on. It's important to be challenged. And the standard of men has gone significantly down, lower and lower, to the point where the hard times, when they come, people are going to be so backwards that it's not even gonna, it might ruin and end lives, right? It's gonna end civilizations, they say, right? Because there's no hard men to fall back on. I think there are the few, not like Marines, not the few, the proud. No, but I think there are few hard men out there that are ready for that sort of thing. So all that to say, I don't want to be one of the weak guys. I don't want to pick the easy thing. And it sent me on this tilt-a-whirl over the last few weeks of deciding to do difficult things. And a little taste of that is to do more physical challenges, going for runs. Like for me, I love weightlifting, so it's not hard to weightlift, but it's hard to go for a run. It's hard to do push-ups. It's hard to do sit-ups. It's easy to bench press. It's hard to squat. So putting myself through the more difficult things, not just because of the physical benefit, but because the mental, right? Facing somebody that I had conflict with, that I oftentimes when I see them, they take my soul. If you're familiar with David Goggins, Taking Souls, they take my soul. They make me feel insecure. They make me question who I am. Well, finally going to them at a chance, when I had a chance, and being able to talk to them, not necessarily about the conflict, but to show them that I'm not scared, that I'm not insecure about this. I can face you and I could shake your hand and I could talk to you. You don't scare me anymore, kind of a feel. Some of you will get that, and it's the very early stages, I know, very early stages of becoming better, becoming greater. And that's what I'm pushing towards, and that's what I want this channel to be about. Now, there's many facets to that. I think I have to face more fears. I think I have to put myself through more physical challenges, but not just that. I need to build myself upon strength. And I'm gonna do another video where I overview the idea and my theory on strength as a man. But all that to say is, it's 2024. This video isn't so you know that, oh, I'm gonna be uploading all the time and I'm gonna be doing this and doing that. That's not what this video is. I can't commit to uploading because these videos I always find an excuse not to do them. I always have an excuse not to vlog and do this and do that. But there's certain things that I want to document because as I came to the close of 2023, I looked at myself and I was like, who am I and who do I want to become? And a quote that I saw when I was on vacation, because I was able to have a nice vacation with family over the New Year's, I saw the scariest place to be at the end of the year is the same place you were last year. So I looked at who I was the year before, New Year's Eve. What was my resolutions? What were my goals? Who was I? And did I end the year in the same place? Maybe not physically, because I was in Florida, which, yeah, all the snow here. Anyway, although it's kind of nice out today. But I want to document this mostly for myself so that I could see this video next year, at the end of this year, and see, where was I? What did I look like? What was I thinking? So that at the end of the year, I could see that I progressed. I moved towards goals. I moved towards becoming a better man and a better person on all these different fronts. That is what I want to do. That is what this is about. Couple disclaimers before I wrap up the video. The goal is more important than documenting. So if at any point I feel like this camera, this channel, whatever, becomes like the pressure of documenting the goal becomes just too much pressure, stress to film it, trying to do this, trying to do that. Like, I wanted to film this with some cool B-roll of me running and doing this, but I'm like, I'm running right now. I'm not going to stop, set my camera up, then continue my run. And it feels like a fraud if I stop, put the camera up after my run and pretend that I'm running, even though I finished my run already. It feels like a fraud, and I don't want to do that because truth is of the utmost importance. And so documenting it is not as important as achieving the goal. So just let that be first off. If there's videos coming out, but then there's a stop of videos, understand that's probably what motivated it. Number two is the disclaimer of, I'm trying not to make excuses. I'm trying to actually implement them. Is family and job is number one. If at any point I feel like some of these goals and some of this videoing and all this different stuff is influencing or affecting my family, I'm not going to do it. You guys, maybe if you're familiar with the channel, you saw vlogs previously of different things. Well, I'm kind of cutting that for privacy's sake of my family. I'm saving those videos, but they're not for public view. I want to protect my kids. I want to protect my family. So I'm just kind of keeping it at that. But that's the goal. That's the importance. That's what I'm going to do. If you want to see more, not just of my journey, but you want to see more of encouragement to become the man that you're supposed to become, I encourage you to subscribe because there's going to be videos that'll be challenging for you and challenge the way you think and challenge the way that you view things. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll catch y'all later. God bless. See you on the front lines.